Hi, everybody. I am Kanish Williams, and I am a college advisor with the Detroit Promise.
Hey everyone, my name is Christina, and I am also a college advisor with the Detroit Promise.
And today we are going live so that we can talk to you about the checklist to enrollment and make sure that you all are able to secure your funding to go to college.
So, before we begin with the checklist items, we wanted to make sure that you all got some really important announcements of the things that are happening with the Detroit Promise in partnership with DCAN also. So, our first announcement is that today is a new week of group college advising. So, today we have a session at 4:45 p.m. So, please join us for that session. In case you need the link to join us, it will appear in the comment section of this presentation of this Facebook Live event. And also, you can always follow up with us. So if you need it again, just go ahead and comment and we can give you the link. And there are several more announcements. So let me go to, there we go. So also, me and Kanisha also offer one-on-one advising in case you don't feel comfortable in the group setting. So group college advising, you are allowed to come and go as you please. The highest number of people that have been in an advising session at once, I believe, has been about 3 to 5 people. So if you have a more sensitive topic that you would like to bring up, such as financial aid, or you just want that one-on-one advising, please fill out a one-on-one advising form or just email us with your availability. So another major announcement, the FAFSA deadline has been extended to May 1st. That means that you have a couple more weeks to apply for the FAFSA and be eligible for priority financial aid funds from the state of Michigan. So get your FAFSA done as soon as possible. You have until May 1st to get that priority application in so that you can get as much financial aid as possible for your education. Also, it is highly recommended and encouraged by me, Kanisha, and everyone at the Detroit Promise and DCAN that you all please follow Michigan Student Aid on social media. If you are a person that is looking for scholarships that are relevant to you, please follow Michigan Student Aid on Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platform you are comfortable with because they give scholarship announcements daily. And some of them are for students that want to go into skilled trades, students that plan to go into healthcare and education, art contests for people that are more of artists than they are essay writers. So please go ahead and follow Michigan Student Aid so they can get those announcements and not wait around for scholarships. Also, the commitment form is open for the Detroit Promise. You should have received an email. Make sure you always check your spam or your junk folders because sometimes emails from us end up in there, in which you get information on how to sign your commitment form. Just remember that the way that you registered for the promise, which was logging into the registration form, is the same way that you sign your commitment form. So just look out for that email or just log into your Detroit Promise registration at detroitpromise.com and click the register button and fill in your information so that you can sign your commitment form. Also, register for scholarships on site with the Detroit Promise as soon as you can. I believe that we have how many more Thursday sessions? So we have a session this Thursday, the 22nd, and next Thursday, the 29th, in which you can get on-site admissions to colleges and universities and also become eligible for scholarship money. So please do that as soon as you can. And also, Spring Distressival is April 25th from 2 to 7 p.m. So you will get more information on that later, but please join us for that event. And that's all I have for the moment. I'll be sharing all of the information that we just shared in the chat.
So now that we've talked about our announcements, we are going to get started and talk about our college, the checklist enrollment. So what I'm going to do is start sharing my screen. So just bear with me. Okay. So As you can see, it's a nice checklist. If you are interested in getting the checklist, please join one of our college one-on-one sessions or our group advising sessions, and we will share the checklist with you so that you're able to follow along and make sure that you're staying up to date on everything that's on this list. So step one, how to make a decision. So when you're trying to make a decision on going to school, these are some of the most important steps um, that we decided. So DCAN created this list. So DCAN, they have a set of advisors who really sat down and thought these are the most important steps on making your decision. So number one is going to be applying to schools. So at this point, many of you have already applied to schools. If you haven't, it's not too late yet. You want to make sure that you get an acceptance letter. So if you are applying to schools, it's great that you apply to however many. We recommend 5 schools, but make sure that you're getting acceptances to these schools. So you want to have at least 2 safety schools, 2 reach schools, and then 2 match schools. That's 6 colleges. It just really makes your chances of getting into a school that you can afford much better. You want to complete your FAFSA. So Christina just said that the FAFSA priority for Michigan has been extended until May 1st. It's usually March 1st. So this is a great opportunity to get that FAFSA done. If you need help doing your FAFSA, DCAN has FAFSA advisors, and they help you complete your FAFSA. You can also talk with one of us, so Christina or myself, and we will help you with your FAFSA. Applying to scholarships, it's never too late. Even once you get into college, you want to still apply to these scholarships. Christina is really big on, sharing these resources. So I would definitely recommend getting a one-on-one session with Christina so that you can see all of these scholarship opportunities. Your student portal. Once you get accepted into a college, there's a student portal, which is where everything for your college career is housed. So whether you go to Western, whether you go to Henry Ford College or Michigan State, all of these schools have their own portal, and they house all your financial aid information. It's how you register for your classes. So you want to make sure that you log in and you know how to log in and you know how to check all of your information. Some schools will require you to complete verification for your FAFSA. So that means that they just need a little bit of information included. So maybe you did your FAFSA and they have just a few more questions. So they're going to just ask for documentation to prove what you put on your FAFSA is correct. And it's just so they don't find any mistakes down the line. So they just want to really make sure that you're all set to go for your college career. You also want to confirm you have received an award letter. It is April right now, so award letter should have been going out as long as you've done your FAFSA and your verification. An award letter is a statement from the college that shows exactly what type of funding you'll get for once you go to the school. It shows all scholarships offered, all of your grants offered. It shows any loans that you can be offered. You don't have to accept them, but you do. They will post it. And then it also shows any work study that may be offered. So when you look at this award letter, you want to make sure that you sit down with a parent or somebody that can walk you through what an award letter really shows. I highly recommend scheduling a one-on-one with me or Christina because we're able to tell you what type of financial gap may be left after you completed your financial aid. So this could mean the school is giving you $20,000, but you still have $5,000 that's not covered through any type of financial aid. So make sure that you are looking at all of these things before making your decision on which college to go to. And if your parent, some parents are not sure what exactly a financial aid award letter is, you can schedule an appointment with us with your parent so we can help you all understand what that award letter means. Trust me, we went through years of training, so it's not just something that you're going to know right off the bat. It's okay if you need some help understanding that information. Also, we recommend students to look into the graduation rates and retention rates. So what is the likelihood that if you go to this school, you are going to be equipped with the resources to successfully finish through that school. Some schools have low graduation rates, and that's something to think about, especially for students that are first generation college students. You really want to look at this information because, yes, this may be your dream school and it may be amazing, but their graduation rates may be, very low. So what are they doing to equip their students to successfully complete their degrees? You also want to look at the other important factors. If you haven't seen, we have some matching fit presentations, and it really narrows down like the location, things that aren't matched. So things that have nothing to do with your GPA or test scores. This is all about will you fit in at the school? So what type of organizations can you join? Student organizations, volunteer opportunities. That's something you really want to look into before you commit yourself to a college. Of course, you can transfer once you get to a school, but why not make that decision before you get there? You also some students may want to join different clubs or Greek life. They may want to participate in sports. So those are just a few things that you can look into. Colleges have so much to offer, so you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't look into that information. Also, visiting the campus. Of course, right now, COVID is making it hard to do in-person tours, but many colleges have put together virtual or self-guided tours. So look at the college's website and see if you're able to do a virtual tour and possibly have an admissions rep or a current student walk you through the campus and show you exactly certain things once campus opens back up, what you would be able to do on campus. And then also think it over. We know that we push that May 1st deadline, but make sure that you're doing your research before you make the decision to go to any school, before you put any enrollment money down, before you sign any housing contracts, because once you pay that money, sometimes it's not refundable. So make sure that you're making that decision. Many of us don't have just $250 to, give to a school, and then we decide, oh, I don't want to go to that school. So just be sure that you're doing your research before you make any long-term decisions. So now, what happens once you make your decision? So that's going to lead us into step 2. So once you're accepted and you've decided this is exactly where I want to go, I'm really excited to go to this school, you want to take the required assessment test. So sometimes if you've taken your SAT, you are probably all set depending on what your SAT scores are. But if you need to take an English and a math placement depending on the school that you've been accepted to. And this just allows them to see exactly where you're placed. So they can put you in the right math course or they can put you in the right English course. Sometimes your SAT scores maybe weren't good, but you know that you can do better. So that is an opportunity to take that test to score higher, and then you don't have to start in some of those developmental courses or support courses that don't count for credits towards your degree. If you are a Detroit Promise student, this is really crucial. You want to do your commitment form. It's called the ATR on here, but it's that commitment form. You have to complete that commitment form if you want to get Detroit Promise funding. So please, once you identify which school you want to go to, complete the commitment form. Only complete it for one school. So if you're still on the fence, just hold off on it until you've made your final decision. Make sure that you're sending your final high school transcripts. So when you got accepted into the school, you had to send transcripts, but schools require a final transcript to solidify everything, because if, say, something happened and you fail all of your classes, they are able to take away that acceptance. So just be sure that you're staying on top of your grades and you're sending them your final transcripts. And then celebrate. A lot of this, some students are stressed out. They've been working for years to make sure that they get into college. Make time for yourself to celebrate that you are doing great things. Just relax, take a break. Maybe not look at anything for a few days, just so that you can really just breathe and enjoy yourself, especially during the summer or for graduation. Like, you guys made it to graduate, so trust me, that is a big deal. So don't weigh yourself down on too many of these things. It's okay. You don't want to procrastinate, but it's okay to take a break and breathe and relax. And then step 3 is the summer transition. So sometimes we talked about how to maximize your summer last week. So what are some things that you can really do during the summer to make sure that you're on track to enroll and start classes in the fall? So number 1 is going to be checking the campus website. So some schools offer college freshman checklist. So they'll give you a list of things that they recommend their students do before they enroll or before they start taking classes. So just look on those campus websites. Some schools may not have it, so don't get discouraged if you don't find any information on that. You have to attend your freshman orientation. Majority of schools, I won't say all, but majority of schools will have you do some type of freshman orientation. Many have moved it to virtual, so you don't have to show up in person. I remember back in the day when I went to college, I had to go on campus and I spent the night, got to get the college feel, and we signed up for classes. We kind of like had a speaker. It was a whole event. We were able to walk around campus, able to see some of the fun spots. So I really recommend doing the freshman well, I don't recommend it because most of the time you have to do it. So yeah, you need to sign up for that freshman orientation. The sooner the better. I know that I signed up for mine real late, so a lot of the good classes were already taken because, that's when you're signing up for classes. So try to get in on the earlier side of freshman orientation. And if a school requires an enrollment deposit, try to work with them and see if they offer any type of waivers or if you can defer your payment until you get your financial aid award letter or your financial aid package, because schools will work with you if you don't have your enrollment deposit. Also, during that freshman orientation, you're usually registering for classes. If you aren't registering for classes in that orientation, make sure that you're scheduling an appointment with an academic advisor because they're going to help you schedule your classes and make sure that you're on track. I know we have a lot of faith in academic advisors, but make sure, even if they're telling you what classes, do your own research. Make sure that your classes are working for you. They have a lot of students, so sometimes they don't know everything. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence as well as working with the academic advisor. So now, so once you've registered for classes, you're going to get a list of your textbooks required for the classes. So at this point, a lot of schools will say they give you the new book price. There are so many resources where you can buy the book, you can rent the book, or you can buy a used book. Just make sure there isn't some type of access code that's needed when you're buying a used book. It's really important that you weigh all your options. Some colleges have Facebook groups where they share textbooks. So maybe you have a class with some students in your area. Why not share the textbook and you guys could work together and end up not spending maybe $150. Now you're sharing like a $50, you're all paying $50. So just be sure that you're weighing all your options because books definitely get expensive. And if you can find any like cheap version, do that as long as it's the right version that you can use for class. Confirm your housing placement. So it's still up in the air due to COVID if students will be back on campus, but make sure whatever choice you decide, it is solidified and ready for you once school starts. If you're going to be at home, if you're going to have an apartment to yourself, if you're going to have roommates, just be sure that whatever decision you make, you have the right resources to do it all. Some students are like, oh, I'm going to get an apartment, I'm going to live on my own, but you don't realize the costs that come with being in an apartment. So be sure whatever decision you decide, you're doing your research on it. If you do, again, any of these topics, we don't only talk about just college, like how to get into college. It's really, we talk about the transition into college, any of those ins and outs. We will help you with any of that. So please schedule an appointment if if your brain is just kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, we will help you. And we'll also work with you and your parent or guardian to help you just know how to look at these options. We won't do all the work for you, but we will help you. We will equip you with the skills to do the research. So if you are living on campus or if you have some type of roommates, make sure that you're connecting with your future roommates. So when I signed up to live on campus freshman year, many years ago, I was able to Facebook. I found my friend, my roommate on Facebook, and we talked about like different things, how we wanted our room to be. We talked about, oh, I'm gonna bring the mini fridge, I'll bring the microwave, and we were able to get all of that stuff sorted out way before August when we were able to move in. So try to do that if you are deciding to live on campus and you're gonna have a roommate. Going shopping. So I tell students, don't try to do it all in one day. It's gonna drive you, your parent, your guardian, anybody who's going shopping with you is gonna drive you all wild because it's a lot. So try to do a little bit at a time. So maybe you can go get your school supplies one day, or you can get your bedding another day. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars in one day just to never have to go shopping again. So just take it a little bit at a time. Also, for a checklist, I use Pinterest. There are a lot of different types of move-in checklists. So if you aren't sure, like, oh, what do I need when I move into college? Look into that because it's a lot. It can get overwhelming, and having a list will, help a lot of that. Once you have your classes, a lot of students give there's websites called like Rate My Professor. They have like ratings on there, so you can do your research on professors to see if they're a good professor, if they're like a really hard grader. So especially if you're signing up for a class that has numerous sections and you can have like different professors, so try to do your research on them so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into before you even start the class. Connect with the college on social media. We live in a time where everybody is on social media. Why not follow the school on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter? Because sometimes schools have like raffles or giveaways for their students. So you may win something just for following your school. And then when you're all done with all of this, you are finally ready to move in. So if you are going to be living on campus, make sure that you secure transportation and you are all set to move in, and you're ready. If you are living at home, make sure that you have a space dedicated to you where you're working at, so that you have the freedom to have peace and quiet. You have something where you can call it your study session, because even though I trust myself, I cannot work in bed. Even though I'm working from home, if I am in bed, I start, browsing on my phone, doing something else. So I have to dedicate a part of my house that is just for work. So do that exactly when you decide to go to school, if you're doing like the online studies. And so, Christina, do you have anything to add? I know this list was long. It's not a complete list, so there may be different things that every student has to look at.
So Kanisha did explain everything on the list very well. She gave plenty of background information and explanation so that you all can really understand the importance of how this list is made to guide you all. When it comes to navigating your way through, whether you're doing it online or on campus, you just really have to just formulate ideas on how to make things easier for yourself. When it comes to the books, there were times that you can get away with not buying a book. The books that are assigned to you, your textbooks, usually can be found in your school's library, and the books are there and they cannot be taken out. So yes, it is some responsibility on your part to schedule time to do readings if you have to. But then again, you're doing your work and you're also not paying out to buy books at the same time. So it's all good for you to do, because the thing is that in college you're not only investing money, you're also investing your time. So in order to do your best, you have to actually sit down and do some work and read and just reflect or study, ask questions. So there are many ways to get around everything, even when it comes to shopping for your dorm and what you may need. If you're going to be living on campus, then you need to be looking into buying a really quality umbrella because we live in Michigan, and in Michigan it rains a lot. It may rain while you're on your way to class, thunderstorm, and it's very inconvenient and very bad to just be drenched in water going everywhere. It's very uncomfortable, and you might just go back to your dorm and not come out for the rest of the day because you got rained on. So it's just good to be prepared. That was the main thing I can recommend to anyone that is going to college, live on campus. Get an umbrella. That is because I just hate getting rained on, and it will happen all the time. And also, something else that you may want to consider if you do move into the dorms is to, like Kanisha really emphasized on the list, is to actually participate in different activities that your dorm puts out, and also to participate in activities that, if you're in a particular class and there's a event going on related to the course material, it does not hurt to actually go to that event because you may learn something, you may meet someone, you may develop a new interest, and those are just really good experiences that you want to have because you don't want to be in school for 4 years or 2 years and come out with just a degree. You want to come out with some experiences too, or else you did not use your time well. Not just social things, but just do things that you wouldn't normally do, and most of the time you won't regret it because it's all just a learning experience, and that's your only job is to learn. That's all you're doing. So yeah, just really look at it as an opportunity, as a good opportunity that you're taking up.
So thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions, we'll stick around in the live for just a few minutes. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. We are definitely here to help. If you have, just questions about enrollment, or if you have questions just about the advising or anything that we've talked about, or if you don't feel comfortable sharing your questions in the comments, you can always schedule an appointment with me or Christina, and we would love to talk with you. We really take our time with our students, so trust me, if you have a one-on-one session with us, we're gonna really make sure that you guys are good and you understand exactly what needs to be done and make sure that your enrollment is secured. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any questions. So I hope you all enjoy your Monday and have a good one. Thank you for joining.
Bye bye. Talk to everyone later.